Hi there, it's Darlene. I hope you're doing well. Well, I am so very, very, very sorry that this is taking so long. I know I told you guys like a week ago that I'd be back to you in a couple days with all the different ways that you can get your money back from Philip. Well, this has turned out to be a far larger project than I ever thought of at the beginning. And it's taking me way longer to gather everything that I need or that you are going to need. And I'm also finding different avenues that I had never even thought to check. I've been using Gemini lately rather than ChatGPT, and it's been making some awesome suggestions. So I'm going to show you what I've been working on here. It's a whole bunch of different things here. But first of all, is this consumer complaints line. And this is the UAE Department of Economy and Tourism. A short form is DET, as in DET, Department of Economy and Tourism. And you see, well, you can see right here, complaints can be about defective or unsafe products, poor service quality, misleading advertising, breach of warranty, or unfair business practices. The resolution time frame is usually within 5 working days. So, holy cow, that's a great idea, isn't it? And the thing is, you don't have to be a resident of Dubai. Because this is an online opportunity, it doesn't matter. So, anybody in the world can go after a Dubai business through this portal. And it says, wonder what to expect there. A representative will study the complaint and work to reach a settlement between the consumer and the defendant. Yeah. Liable establishments. The establishment must be licensed by DET in Dubai and fall within the department's jurisdiction. Okay. So that made me think, okay, I've gotta pull that license because that should be a public record, right? And it is too. And then require documents. You will need to provide proof of what was promised and how that varies from what was delivered. So that evidence kit, that evidence package has been taking me a while to put together because everybody you try to get your money back from is going to need that kind of evidence. What was promised and what was actually delivered. And there's tons of it in that webinar. There's tons of screenshots and stuff you can take, and video copies and stuff like that. So again, that's been taking me forever. But now going back to the licensing in Dubai, well, I found something really interesting. Check this out. This is Philip's business license in Dubai. Philip's agency. You'll see that at the bottom of most of his sales pages. But notice that it shows the issue date being 2023 and then the expiry date 2024-0307. That puts him 2 years behind on his filings. But what is confusing here is that you notice on the top and on the bottom on the right hand side where it says active. Like, if it's expired, why is it still active? But I can imagine if it's expired, that means all kinds of nasty things. And oh boy, am I right there. If he is 2 years behind on his filings, then here are all the fines. But it goes up to around $25,000 USD for all the different things that he's there. But it means a lot more than that. As I say, if he is behind by 2 years. What it means is an automatic blacklisting. He basically is placed on the National Economic Register's blacklist. That blocks him from opening any new bank accounts in the UAE or renewing his residency visa. Visa cancellation. Since his residency is likely to be tied to that FZCO license, his visa and visas he sponsored would have been technically invalid for a long time. This makes him an illegal resident in the eyes of the Dubai immigration. Bank account seizures. UAE banks are required to freeze corporate accounts the moment a license expires. If he is still getting paid, which, oh yeah, he is likely using an offshore account or personal account to bypass UAE banking laws, which is a major anti money laundering AML red flag. But see, what I'm thinking is if for some bizarre reason the Dubai government just hasn't noticed, as so they haven't gotten around to freezing his corporate accounts, what's going to happen when they do notice? Also, you got to think that if he loses his visa as at that date, that means he loses his tax free status. And that means his last 2 years of income will be taxable in Denmark at that 60% rate that he was trying to get the hell away from. So, anyways, this I thought this really did need to be brought up, by someone to the Dubai government. So here's the email I sent to 3 different email addresses that this is in regards to the Gemini was able to pull. Formal inquiry, potential licensing violation. Phillips Agency, FZCO, license number, blah, blah. I'm writing to bring your attention a potential licensing and compliance issue regarding a company registered within the Dubai Silicon Oasis jurisdiction. According to official records, see attached, this company's trade license expired on March 7th, 2024. Despite this, the entity appears to be actively marketing its services and conducting business operations globally. Furthermore, the online portal currently displays an active status badge, which appears to contradict the stated expiry date of over 2 years ago. As a matter of commercial transparency and consumer protection, I would like to request clarification on the following. Is Phillips Agency, FZCO, currently authorized to conduct management consultancies or any other commercial activities under DIEZ jurisdiction? Does the 2024 expiry date indicate that the company is in a state of non-compliance or administrative freeze? I have attached a screenshot of the license details for your reference. I look forward to your verification of this company's current legal standing. Oh, and also threw in a screenshot of Hustle Phil Instagram page just for their so that they know, yeah, he is doing business. So as I said, I sent that on the 22nd and it's now the 24th, just barely. I mean, it's barely been 2 days. I cannot expect that any government agency will have replied yet, and they haven't. And it's also going to take me a few days more at least to get this all done. So this is also another good reason to kind of not plow ahead so quickly, but to get this done right. I mean, I think getting this done right is more important than getting it done fast. And to show you what's been happening on my end, on March 17th, I get this from YouTube. We would like to inform you that we have received a privacy concern about your content. Before we review the content, we would like to give you an opportunity to review and, if necessary, modify or remove any potentially private information within the reported content. Receiving this notice does not imply a violation of YouTube privacy guidelines, and no action has been taken against your content or channel at this time. So, guess who that video was pertaining to? Of course, Philip Johansen. And actually, at the time that they state here, it does show a private message from Philip's private WhatsApp group. That could be a privacy fail. And then also, I failed to blur out or black out an email address, and it was the email of the guy I was doing the video about who got screwed over by Philip. That's why I didn't even show one of Philip's personal emails or something. No, it was the guy I was trying to protect. I think he will forgive me though. So anyways, what this kind of a notice does is it allows the creator to go in and blur out the sections that are problematic. So I went in and did that because that video is not going to suffer too much without that. However, if it does get taken down, I mean, I can't have copies of all of my videos, so I'll simply just re-upload it with those parts absolutely blurred out, and we'll still have it there. So that's what Philip has been up to with me. So basically, he's not growing any fonder in my heart. And so I really, as I say, I really want to get this done right. So here's an outline of what I'm working on. Gemini and I put this together. So first of all, gather the evidence. Remember, even on that DET website, it said they need an evidence kit to show what they were promised, or what you were promised rather, versus what you actually were delivered or what the truth was. Philip has always said this system is 90% done for you, when all that means is the damn funnel and the email sequence that you are expected to personalize. It's just a template. That is not 90% done for you when you look at the amount of work it takes to do those damn videos. That is just a bold, outright lie. Also, if you were brought in through that fake webinar, time and time again, he makes claims like 95% automation. He also has that fake $10,000 guarantee, and there's several places where he says that there's a 30-day money back guarantee, but then you get to the checkout page and it says final sale. Like, what the hell? In for Dubai, that's bait and switch. So it nails them there for bait and switch for that DET portal. And there's other things too that need to be in that evidence package. I'll be showing you that a bit more. But also stuff about the business opportunities rule, because this thing has to be worded for the FTC as well as e-consumer that the rest of the world can use. This is a regulatory issue, so this needs to go through we have to make this a regulatory issue. So that means filing with the FTC and econsumer.gov, and then you get a file number. And then you can show you are making this a regulatory issue moving forward. Oh, and that was step number 2. Step number 3, contact the merchant. You demand a refund from Philip, and then you either get a documented refusal or a 48 hours of silence. And that way you can say to anybody else, I have requested a refund and got nothing. But it's important for you to be able to give your reference numbers for the FTC and the Dubai DET, so that you can, and here's the exact wording you can use in that letter. I'm demanding a full refund to material misrepresentation of the 95% automated system and the deceptive power guarantee, which is negated at checkout. I've already filed formal fraud reports with the FTC, reference da-da-da, and the Dubai DET, reference da-da-da-da, under UAE Article 4.5. Your no refund clause is null and void for misrepresentation of services. And then once you got that done, then we're going to escalate it to either Copecart USA or JV Zoo. What you need to do is check your receipts and find out who you bought it through, Copecart or JV Zoo, because that'll be who you will next be taking it up with. And there's some sample wording, but I've actually got it far better than that. But the idea, again, is because they are in contravention, because Philip is in contravention of the vendor agreement, actually, that gives JV Zoo the right to freeze all the money in his account there and to refund it. Okay? So that's why we need to make this a regulatory issue and not just I've been screwed out of my money issue. Okay? And then that goes to a whole different level in JV Zoo. Okay? And Copecart is its own little animal too. It's different for Copecart. I'm not going to explain it right now. But yeah. And then if that doesn't work, the bank chargeback. And again, you'll need that evidence kit for that. So I've been working on that, and let me show you that. So what I'm designing is a complete recovery kit to take you through those basic steps that I showed you, but to take you through each step one by one, everything you need to do, and here are the email addresses. Here is the letters you can use, the exact wording that you need to use for each entity that you come across. And the most important part here is gathering your evidence. And so what I have done also is put together an evidence package. This document provides formal evidence of material misrepresentation, commercial fraud, and systemic regulatory noncompliance by Philip's agency FZCO and its principal, Philip Johansen. It details the disparity between the marketed automated business opportunity and the intensive manual labor reality actually required, as well as the merchant's use of deceptive guarantees that violates both UAE federal law and United States FTC regulations. And then I've just got, as I say, I've got links to everything. And oh yeah, that sales video, the webinar, and then I have all kinds of screenshots of all of the bullshit, and then show the reality, to show the contrast between what you're promised and what you actually got. And just step by step through everything, and as well the problems that he's having with the business opportunities rule, because he has always maintained that, oh, this is just a coaching, this is not a business opportunity. Because you see, if it is a business opportunity, he has to give all kinds of disclosure, as in what is the average amount that people make from your program, or is it a loss, after the $2,500 they spend. He has to give all kinds of disclosures like that, and he doesn't want to. So he wants to go under that. But in that webinar, there are tons of places where he says he's going to give you a 90% done for you business. That's not just a coaching program. That's a business. And that's how to nail him to the wall with the FTC too, if you're from the US. So as I say, this has been taking a while, because it's, oh yeah. And then if you're from the UK or the EU, you guys, because of your own consumer laws, have I think it's a 15-day cooling off, or maybe it's a 30-day. I can't remember. Anyways, I pulled all the information on that as well. And so there are certain wordings that you can use for that it immediately voids this contract, because you were never offered a cooling off period. Instead, it's at checkout. There's no refund. It says right there at checkout, it's non-refundable. So, for you guys in the UK and the EU, you've got more protections as well. So I see what I mean by I just keep finding more and more to research, and I want this to be complete. So that's what I'm working on, guys. And I'm going to get back at it now, but I had to get this video out here so you didn't think I'd fallen asleep or forgotten or something like that. No, I'm just bogged down with all kinds of work, but I think it's going to be so very, very worth it. So that's it for tonight. You take care. Darlene out.